Very first episode on ICP Network, and tonight we're going to be discussing one of the dopest rap groups of all time, a group that we have had extensive history with, many tours, many stories, many shows, many gatherings, including the very first gathering. They were there. One of the first and one of the only bands at the first gathering. There's only a few, and they were fucking there. We're talking about a SoCal rap group just steeped in Juggalo history and lore. They are iconic in the rap game. We could be talking about none other than the Cottonmouth Kings. And tonight, we're gonna be discussing the rise and the fall of this legendary rap group. And I'm joined by, of course, my brothers in arms, if you will, Shaggy 2 Dope and Violent J. And off to the corner here, we have Manny locking it down, keeping track of the chat, if you will.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing, Rob. Check it out, man. If you want a special shout out tonight by my boys right over there, ICP, all you got to do is just give a little bit of money, man. It's $25 worth of bits, man. That's all we're asking for. And they'll get a shout out by the ICP tonight. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm keeping an eye on who's donating these bits, Rob. So I'm watching, brother. I'm watching.
Yeah, we're acting like we know what's going on.
Well, no, let me.
We really don't have a fucking clue.
Let me break this down into terms that we can understand. Okay, what Manny's trying to say is this: that the ICP right here, that the ICP will give you a special shout out if you give us some money.
But that's not entirely true.
How he said that.
That's not entirely true at all.
He broke it down so bad.
It was terrible. What he's trying to say is he'll give a shout out, okay? We need to survive, all right? We ain't got money like you think we do, all right? All right, I'm negative in the negatives in my bank account, all right? And what I'm trying to say is we can't afford to keep this freshness going unless y'all motherfuckers chip in, all right? If you can. If you can't, go ahead and freeload all you want. That's fine. You can cramp our style. We ain't mad.
I'm just gonna say it like this, man. These plants are real. You know what I'm saying? This shit costs us money. And now that we ain't doing Patreon, this shit ain't paying for itself. So we're trying to find new motherfuckers. So what Manny's trying to say, if you want to get a shout out on air by him, not the ICP.
That's right.
I guess technically that's right though. The
if everybody gives over $25 in what do they call
shout out on air, bits.
In bits.
No, the $25, that'd be what? 2,500, some shit in bits.
That's right.
Like pesos to American dollars.
2,500. What's the difference? Just send it in, and Manny will give you a shout out live on the air for everybody to see. But that's it. That's all we got to say about that. We got some hellified content to bring you, some hellified special guests. Some hellified special guests. We're going to get to the bottom right now of what happened. The rise, the motherfucking peak, and the fall of the Cottonmouth Kings. That's right.
No doubt.
Seemed like this should have been a special, like, come up right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you know, let's start off with basically what we know about the Cottonmouth Kings, all right?
Can I, because I know you're gonna go ham on like their career and shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna add in, but I would just like to say first, like my first introduction and exposure to the Cottonmouth Kings, this was, I don't even know what year it was, maybe 95, 96, I don't know. But we were touring, I think in an RV, you know what I'm saying? And we were on the road with the Humble Gods. That was Brad X's band. The Humble
punk
Gods.
rock group, the Humble Gods.
Yes, the punk rock group, the Humble Gods. Where we ultimately did a remix for I forget the Running Out of Time.
What the fuck was that song called? Running Out of Time? Was that it?
Yeah, Running Out of Time it was.
It was a great song. We did a remix. We put the fresh ass Above the Law murder siren.
Yeah. And those were our fucking homies. Those were our homies. So we're like, fuck yeah, we'll hook it up. So we had them on tour with us. I mean, if you could call it a tour back then, but it was to us. It was official as shit. We were in an RV.
A little bit of trivia too, by the way. When we did that remix for him of Running Out of Time, that's cool as fuck. You remember that, man. Your brain still works fresh and chipper.
Yeah, no, only like a savant. Only in certain shits.
My shit's rusted out and corroding.
I'm like a fucking half a savant.
But for real, when we did that remix, if you've ever heard it, we did the remix for him of the song Running Out of Time. That very 3-day period, we did it at the Disc
Yes.
in Roseville,
Yes, we
Michigan.
did. Yep.
We
In the
also
upstairs
did
room.
the remix to Chicken Hunting, which ended up on Ritterbox.
That was the same fucking little area.
Same 3-day session.
You talking about me blowing? You just blew my wig. What the fuck?
We
you
did
talking
Chicken Hunting in the same 3 days at the disc that we did.
about? You know what it was?
The Running Out of Time.
It was the fucking. It was the rap demo special.
No,
that was Beverly Kills.
You don't get to go upstairs in the big room when you do the demo.
That's the B. That's actually called Studio B.
But
B
yeah, man, just a little trivia for those that may have heard that remix. We did Chicken Nut at the same fucking period of time. But yeah, you know.
So anywho, so I remember it was earlier in the day before a show in St. Louis at the Metroplex. Remember that fucking place? Same place where that fucking a bunch of shit in St. Louis went down. But that the first time we ever played that place, you know, our first time out of Michigan, I just remember being downstairs in the dressing room and it just fucking raining Faygo through the fucking floor.
You talking about the Galaxy in St. Louis?
What did I say?
The Metroplex or some shit.
Okay, yes, the Galaxy. That was it. That place. The Metroplex. That's a fucking wrestling thing.
I don't think it exists. I think you just made that up.
You can also check out the Galavante and the Upadex. I don't fucking know. Them are also imaginary things. But so we were sitting in the alleyway, you know what I'm saying? And,
Located in the Dillado state.
yeah, in the Dillabo state of Incredibile. But so anyhow, we were in the fucking alleyway, and the Humble Gods were like in like a custom van, you know, since we were traveling. And Brad was like, "Yo, let me holler at you guys right quick." So we got out of. Oh, we were at fucking cargo vans, goddammit. Yes, because I remember getting out of them, sitting on the motherfucker. I'm thinking we were in a fucking RV. What the fuck, luxurious?
Yeah,
fucking sick. I
We
got
did
out
have the fresh RV, the all black
after that,
one.
yes, we did. We
Hell
stepped up
yeah.
to it, but I
Great
remember getting out of the
Malenko
fucking
RV.
cargo, yes. We're getting out of the cargo van, out the fucking samplers. You know what I'm saying?
We thought we fucking bought that RV. We were thinking we were gonna tour in it forever. We're all like, we use this bitch forever.
All right.
We
No,
were
no,
halfway
no.
through that first tour, like, fuck this RV, man.
All right. Cottonmouth Kings, not us. You know what I'm saying? Let's concentrate here. Anyhow, I remember getting into that van and Brad saying, "Yo, these are these fucking kids I know, dog. They can rap their fucking asses off." This was before Brad was even like rapping with them. And he played it, and I think it was Saint Dog and D-Loke. You know what I'm saying? It was just them two
Yep.
rapping on a Maxell. You know, we were just like,
And they spelt Cottonmouth Kings with a C.
yeah, with a C.
Exactly,
Yes, before the
yeah.
KMK, it was CMK.
That's right. So basically,
And we were just like, the shit, I just remember it was just bumping so fucking hard. We were just like, yo, who the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? And then, boom, the Humble Gods fall apart. Next thing you know, Brad is the Cottonmouth Kings with them. You
it
know what I'm
started
saying?
out with the way we understand it.
I'm sure
there
there's
was
a
a
lot more in
band
there.
called the Humble Gods. It was Lou Dog on drums, Brad X singing, Bianca was in the group. Me and Bianca hooked up one night. That was all fresh in Toledo. But yeah, I don't remember the other guys' names, although I almost want to.
I remember the one ninja, yeah, his name was like Doug or something, and he had a painting from John
But
Wayne
the Humble
Gacy.
Gods were also on Hollywood Records, which is the label we signed to that was owned by Disney.
That's how we knew him.
Yeah, and first time I ever met Brad X, Julian flew out. You guys may have seen Julian on the Patreon when we did when we talked
Malenko.
about the great Malenko.
Yeah.
But anyway, Julian flew out to see a show we were doing at St. Andrews Hall, and he brought Brad X with him. And I met Brad X, and he was like, "Man, we saw your video on the box. It was so dope, man, you know." And he's like, "I'm from LA, I'm with the Humble Gods." That's how we met Brad X, was through Julian. And then next thing you know, Brad X is managing these guys from Orange County called the Cottonmouth Kings, Saint Dog and D-Loke, 2 rappers.
Right. So that
Bobby B was their DJ.
Bobby B, was he back
Yes,
then?
Bobby B was with him. I think Lou still was too.
It was
but-
around that same time that Kevin Zinger actually hooked up with Brad X too, because he was a promoter for Cottonmouth or a Humble Gods show, and that's how they
That's how they
connected.
met.
Ah,
That's
okay.
how they met.
See, man, you guys know more about
and
that shit than me, 'cause you're blowing my wig right now.
They kicked it off really hard because do you remember Brad X and a couple, maybe Lou Dog? They were club promoters back
Yeah,
then.
That's
You remember
right.
that
Yeah,
shit?
remember we used to go
Yes.
to LA and they take us those Playboy
Yeah.
fucking parties
So-
on
So what they
Hollywood
would
shit.
do, and this blew my wig because I didn't know this shit existed, but they would
man, I
do,
forgot all that
yeah,
shit.
what they would do
Wow.
was they would just put the word out that the party's happening at this club
Yeah.
on this day.
That's right.
And they were influencers before that word
Right.
was
That's
even
right.
in
Yeah.
existence. And then everybody would show up at that club.
right. Wow,
You know what I
that's
mean?
right.
Just
In
by
LA.
them putting the word on the
remember going
street.
to
Yes.
one on fucking
So-
Hollywood
so-
Boulevard.
So,
Fuck.
and then they would bring all the hot girls and
Yeah.
fucking, and it would just
They
be
do it at a
popping
club
up.
night,
And
right.
whatever club they did that for, it would be packed. like
Right.
to the gills, you know what I'm
So
saying?
yeah, Brad X and his somebody, I believe it was Lou.
God damn, I'm getting my wig blue back.
I think it was Lou. Brad X and Lou are promoting clubs in LA,
Yeah,
packing
was
them
that
in.
true? Yeah.
Brad X is playing with the Humble Gods. He was a singer. And
He was living a
he's
fucking
managing-
life, man. Straight the fuck up. He was just like, he was in a fact, like, we were sprung. You know what I'm saying? We were like, yo, Brad X is this. We were like, yo,
Yeah.
that's the fucking homie. You
He's
know,
managing-
that's our hook in LA.
Now, in case you don't know, I just want to bring it context. Kevin Zinger went on to become the CEO and founded
Subnoise
Records.
That's right.
You know, and so which their first official group was the Cottonmouth Kings.
That's
Yeah.
right. No doubt. It started with the Cottonmouth
it
Kings.
started-
Yeah, there
started
was.
with that.
It's Suburban Noise Records. Anyway, Brad X is managing Cottonmouth Kings, spelled with a C. Two guys, D-Loc and Saint Dog, and they're from Orange County. And Brad X is managing them. Later on, something happened with the Humble Gods. They may have been dropped from the record label. I'm not sure, but the band disbanded. I know Bianca, rest her soul, later passed away. But the band broke up. Suddenly, Cottonmouth Kings grew as an entity, began spelling their name with K, MK, and Brad X was in the group rapping now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think he wasn't promoting clubs anymore. I think he was strictly rapping now. One day,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure by the time he was like in Cottonmouth Kings, that was his full.
That was his thing. It was a
his shit
full-time
there.
deal, you know?
Because they also had like fucking Subnoise Records and all that
now,
shit.
in the beginning, Cottonmouth Kings landed a song on the Scream soundtrack. Was it Scream 1?
Yeah, it was Scream One.
so,
yeah,
yeah.
that was Suburban Life.
Yeah, which is a big deal.
And that song was a shit.
Because the
man.
song's in the
Suburban
movie
Life.
and everything.
Yeah.
A big deal, you know
Scream
what I'm saying?
One, yo, that Scream One changed like horror movies in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Took it from hack and slasher shit
Yeah.
to like that fucking whole different style of horror movies.
And the
with Scream,
soundtrack, the way I understand it, totally put them on the map.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For
Oh, blew 'em
Cottonmouth
up,
Kings. I remember one time I was out in LA hanging out with Brad X, and he took me to meet him. I met the Cottonmouth Kings early in the day when he was managing them, but later on I'm out in LA hanging with Brad X, and Brad was hanging out with Terry B. Now Terry B was a white rapper.
We brought this up on the last Patreon, boy.
Terry B was a white rapper that Eazy-E
chick,
signed.
abroad.
Ruthless Records. She was a female named Terry B. Her album was called Power of a Woman.
Yep.
And
Murder, She Wrote. That was her first
Murder,
single,
She Wrote
Murder,
was
She
her
Wrote.
single. Eazy-E signed her.
A Magnum is a microphone, murder, and MCs. That's the fucking sample they used in it.
So dope. We used to watch Terry B on a video, hanging out with Eazy-E and shit,
Yeah.
and be like, wow. Next thing you know, I'm hanging out at Kearney's on
Terry
Sunset
B.
with Brad X and Terry B, and I just couldn't stop begging Terry B to let me hit it, you know? I was like, please,
It always
please, you
boils
don't know
back.
what it
Doesn't
means to me.
always go back to that, no matter
I'm
what.
such a fucking huge fan. Anyway, that was a great memory.
Such a huge fan. Let me hit it.
Begging, straight up begging.
Why not? I'm a fan.
I was pleading with her.
Right.
I believe it.
Anyway,
That always works.
never happened.
I was groveling.
That's right.
Never happened, or you guys would have heard about it years ago.
Oh, sure you would have.
But anyway, so next thing you know, we're doing tour after tour after tour. Now there was a little bit of drama, okay? Because one time on one tour, Saint Dog, rest his soul, Saint Dog passed away. There was a little bit of drama between us and Saint Dog. Remember that?
He was wilding.
Yeah, he was really hard to get along with.
Yeah,
at
he was
the
drinking a
time,
lot.
you know?
He was young as shit, man. He was.
Now,
wild.
did we send him home off the tour? Is that what happened?
I don't remember.
I mean, I was gonna do it like because he kept like selling backstage passes, all types of
We
shit.
had
Yeah.
a bunch of problems with Saint Dog, and
But so are the Cottonmouth Kings. You know what I'm saying?
we
What
were
just-
super
yeah.
cool at the Cottonmouth Kings, but at the time we had to, I believe, send him off the tour, and there was a little bit of friction, you know. But we felt bad about it. But I think maybe over time they understood why, because I think they had a lot of trouble with Saint Dog, because eventually Saint Dog wasn't in the group no more, right? Now, as the years go by, we're doing a tour with them easily every 3 years.
Oh, yes.
Or every 4 years.
The cool thing about it is, as ICP was rising and popping off, they were rising.
Right,
and
yeah,
popping
we were
off.
like together.
It was like together. Like,
Yeah.
it was just like popping off at the same time, you know.
Now, of course, Suburban Noise Records ended up signing all kinds of other artists, and they were very, very similar to Psychopathic. Cottonmouth Kings are doing really good, though. They're doing shit with Cypress Hill, all kinds of shit, you know, doing their own tours, packing them in. We used to love to tour with the Cottonmouth Kings because that meant a bunch of more hotties were going to be in the crowd.
Right, that's true.
It's true.
That's true.
Remember?
Yeah.
I know I wanted to be like, it's always got to circle back, but them are facts.
Every time we toured with KMK, you can guarantee there'd be a bunch of hotties in the crowd, you know?
We could never fit well because we're a big bunch of ugly dudes. They're all like
As much of an incredible
surfer
sex symbol as I am,
Right, it's hard to.
they somehow incredibly managed to bring even more girls,
Yeah.
right?
That's right.
So now you know they had some
look at the handsomeness.
female love.
Just look at the display of handsomeness.
I know.
That's why.
I was looking at it
You
before
just
we
look
went on the
air.
I was
Bunch
like,
of beach studs and a
look
bunch
at that strong jawline on D'Lo.
I know, right?
Such a stud, man. If I had to have sex with a man, he'd be in my top 5 easily. But all that aside, so anyway, later on in their career, I heard they were bringing a new member into the group. You know,
Yeah.
I remember I text Brad X and
Yeah, you can say it that rhyme. That was good.
I did say, this has no disrespect to Dirtball. I don't even think I knew who he was or anything about him. You know what I mean? But when I heard they were bringing a new member in the group, I text Brad X with my opinion as a friend, and I was like, man, you guys are so established. Like, bringing somebody new is going to bring change, and people love you like you are, you know?
Dirtball's the shit, man. He can fucking spit fire.
No, he's fired.
The fucking bomb.
He's very much a part of the family now.
Yeah.
But at the time, it didn't matter who it was. I just gave my opinion that, man, you guys are so established and iconic. Man, just keep it yourself, man, you know? And don't change something, because that puts like a whole new era into things and everything, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, he was like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? And,
they
good thing he did say that, because Dirtball's part of the family now. And we got to know Dirtball and everything. Everything's great. And man, and so suddenly we hear about some major alleged fuckery that happened. You know what I'm saying? Brad X was, I remember him telling, and I hope I'm not wrong about this, but I remember him saying not to wear your old KMK merchandise if it has a Suburban Noise Records logo on it. And I remember thinking, that's crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People got a whole collection of that shit, man. It's even if you're not with your old manager no more.
You're talking about when things started to kind of fall apart.
Right.
Yeah.
This was like years
later. I'm talking about a whole.
dude, right.
Yeah, let's
you want a Snoop Death Row shirt. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
let's just
But
let's
what I'm
just,
saying is, this 20 years later, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just wanted to get that across. How long their career went.
Yeah,
you know what
I
I'm
mean, we did at least
And-
7 tours with them, and when we weren't touring with them, of course, they were touring on their own, touring like crazy, touring with everybody, you know. I mean, everybody knows who the Cottonmouth King is. Everybody knows who it is.
I remember showing up we were in Denver. I think we were wrapping up Bazaar in Denver, and they came through and they played like.
And
the
we
Ogdens
jumped out on
shit.
stage with them.
and we did like no announcement. Nobody knew we were there. We jumped out there. That place, you know, what I'm saying, Cottonmouth Kids was so in effect. It was just motherfuckers swinging out the rafters.
It was
like-
sold out. It was sold
It looked
out.
like a fucking chia
Nobody
pet.
knew we were there.
It looked like
even
fucking,
in Denver.
It looked like somebody spread a chia pet seed all over the fucking place, but it was like humans popping out. It was so fucking packed, dog.
This is a group that held the Matrix.
No-
Like
no
they were
question.
fucking huge, like blown up, like in effect. They did everything right. The videos, the look, the music,
merchandise.
the music, and
the gimmick,
Me and
everything.
Brad X-
all of them, the thing that struck me about the Cottonmouth Kings and always has is they have fucking charisma and spades.
Oh, no-
like,
yeah,
you know what I
no
mean?
question.
Yeah.
Like they would go out of their way to introduce themselves or come up to you, you know what I'm saying? Even down to like, you know, people that you know, just stagehands and stuff. They were like really good at that networking, like, you know, like leaving an impression where everybody's like, oh man, them dudes
Me
are
and
cool
Brad
as
X
fuck.
used to have like a silent rivalry, and we used to joke about it all the time, because everything they did inspired me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he said the same thing about us,
right,
you know? And we used to see each other and be like, yeah, we're coming after each other, you know? It was our thing though, you know what I'm saying? Like inspiring each other and shit, and a silent competition, you know?
Yeah.
Like without them, we wouldn't be where we're at, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you know, we help them go too, you know? We help each other, you know?
These are also guys that truly love the Juggalo world.
Oh,
They
no
love
question.
it.
Oh, yeah.
Like
They
okay,
loved it because it was theirs too.
straight
you know?
up, the
It was shout
only
Juggalo. No,
the
no
only
question.
the only band I've ever known, they would build a tour around the Gathering each year. play The Gathering, and then do a show in like Cleveland the next night. Like they would perform, let's say on Thursday at The Gathering, like headlining the stage. Go to Cleveland and then come back just to hang out.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they had a day off the next day. They would come back to The Gathering.
No doubt.
Of course.
You know, tour buses rolling back in and shit, and they're like just to hang out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but something happened, and we're gonna get to the bottom of that today. Hopefully,
Yeah.
I know we got to wrap this up, this intro here, but something happened, and suddenly Brad was online, I believe, telling people don't wear that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, don't show up wearing that shit or whatever. And I remember thinking, man, that's part of your history anyway. You've yelled, you know, suburban noise for 20 years. No matter what happened, you can't just
erase it,
turn it off. You know what I mean? Tell people not to wear that shit. You know, and it was like whatever happened was allegedly so much fuckery. It fucked his head up, man. You know what I'm saying? From what I know.
Right.
And last contact we had with Cottonmouth Kings, besides like we had King Spade, which is Johnny Richter and D-Lo, we had them play The Gathering.
Yeah, no doubt.
And not too long ago. And I remember riding up on the show late at night, it's like 4:30 in the morning, and it was packed.
Fuck yeah.
And the songs they were doing just brung it all back, and I was like, fuck yeah, man. It was dope, you know? And but last contact we had with Brad X, I should say. First of all, there was a show we were doing in Vegas called the, what was it called again? It's like a weed thing.
Oh, that festival out there. I don't fucking know.
What was it called?
It was a
420
Fest? Weed festival.
We did a festival in Vegas, and Cottonmouth Kings were going to be there. And we're thinking the whole time, what's going to happen? Who's going to show up, you know? Because we haven't seen or heard anything from Cottonmouth Kings. And the day of the show, I believe, just D-Lo and Johnny Richter showed up. And allegedly, what they told us was Brad X had flown into Vegas, received his money, and then never showed to the show.
Right. Okay.
You know, that's we know he didn't show to the show, but they told us that he had flown in and bolted with his maybe all the money or his money, we don't know. But he took the money and never played, you know. And then we had called Brad X, right? This is when Psychopathic was still really into being a label. We called Brad X and we asked him, he called back, and we were like, what was, you know, is everybody cool? What would it take to put Cottonmouth Kings back together on Psychopathic? You know what I mean? And he was like, everybody's on board. Everybody's on board. We're down. Man, he was like, I got everything. I got all the music rights. I got the new album rights. I got the name rights, and I got the movie rights. And we're thinking, movie rights? You know what I'm saying? The movie going down? And man, he was just all on board. And we were like, when do you want to talk so we can talk about numbers and all that shit? And he's like, when's a good time? And we were like, tomorrow at noon. And he's like, all right, cool, for sure, you know? And that night, I got a text from him, and it was like some naked chick from the neck down, and him behind her, like, you know, throwing up the peace sign and shit. You know, it was very unlike Brad X to get a text like that, you know what I'm saying? But I did, and he was like, saying something else. He's like, let's get money, you know? So I'm like, cool. Next day, noon came and went.
Because that's how you get money.
You know, he's saying, like, for the deal we got, you know? Deal we're going to put together. He's like, let's get money. I'm like, hell yeah, you know? And the next day, noon came and went. So we tried to get a hold of him, and we got a hold of him one more time, like a week later. We set up another time just 3 hours later. You know what I mean? 3 hours down from when he called back. We're like, call back in 3 hours, we'll ham it out. He's like, cool, you know? And he never called back. And every time we called after that, there was no response, you know what I mean?
All right, now look, like my take, and this is gonna sound totally ignorant, because it is, you know what I'm saying? Because I have no basis off this, and this is based on speculation, and it's stupid, but from what I know, which I'm so glad we're doing this show, because I know a lot of other people also think the fucking same thing. And I don't really think this, but from what I've heard is the nutshell of it is something happened with Suburban Noise. It busted up.
Brad felt he got robbed.
Somebody
We're gonna
fucked
get to the
somebody.
bottom of it.
Somebody fucked somebody out a lot of money. Brad cracked out and disappeared and everybody disbanded. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, that's pure ignorance talking. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck it did. That's why I'm so glad we can get to the bottom of it.
Well,
here, you know what I'm saying?
ultimately there was infighting, right?
Yeah, they
infighting,
busted
yeah.
up.
Like
money was fucked. There was some fuckery with the money.
People were leaving the band. It didn't happen all at once. It was like people were leaving the band.
Right, yeah, it was like over
coming
time.
in,
But from
coming and
the
going.
sidelines,
the whole
you
band,
didn't know what the fuck was going on. You're just like, yo, what is
the whole
Cottonmouth
the
Kings,
whole
you know?
band went on hiatus a couple times and came back. You know, it was
And
like
we tried to get to the bottom of it and couldn't.
Yeah.
You know, we tried to understand. I just remember I remember the last tour we did, Brad and me were talking in the parking lot and he was telling me about infighting. There's a lot of infighting on the bus. There's a lot of stress on the bus, you know. It's almost not worth it. And I'm like, man, you're just having a bad day, bro. It's all good. Everybody fights, you know.
Yeah.
It's all good, you know. And yeah, man, you know, and then next thing you know, we just heard about this crazy fuckery that happened allegedly. You know, we never talked to, you know, look, we're gonna talk to we got on the phone, Chucky Chuck.
Shit, we got on the fucking
We got on the
phone. We got
phone.
him right here on the fucking shit.
We're gonna talk to today, Chucky Chuck, who's been there a day oneer, for real. I remember Chucky Chuck way back in the day.
Sub-Noise Soldier right there,
Before
boy.
he even started rapping and everything. I've known Chucky Chuck for years and years and years.
We used to wipe his little poopy butt when we changed his
Chucky
diapers.
Chuck is like 72.
Yeah.
All right?
Sorry.
Even though I'm older than him, he's clearly like 72.
Yeah, no doubt.
But he's been around forever is the point, you know? We're also going to talk to today, we got Johnny Richter from the Cottonmouth Kings. We got fucking Kevin Zinger,
DJ Bobby B.
CEO of Suburban Noise Records, Kevin Zinger, and another member of the band,
OG boy.
Bobby
OG.
B, DJ Bobby B.
Yes.
Cool as fuck. All of them cool as fuck. But let's jump into it with Chucky Chuck, right?
oh yeah, that's cool.
All right, Chucky Chuck, are you there, bro? Hang on one
You're
second.
muted, guy.
It's mute. We can't hear him.
Take your muting off. You're muted. Oh, there we go.
You there, brother?
Hey, how's it
Still
going?
can't hear him. Can you
Wait,
guys
it's
hear
coming
him?
out of here. You got to turn the speaker up. He can't hear for shit. I can't hear for half a shit. He can't hear for shit at all.
I can hear you guys.
There we go. Yes, sir.
Hey,
All
yeah.
right.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Long time no see.
Yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah,
It's been a
great,
minute,
man.
right? You look great, man.
It's a trip sitting here listening to you guys talk about all this stuff and just what a legacy Cottonmouth Kings is. And to be honest, how I heard of them was they talked about you in a song, and all my friends at school knew that I listened to ICP, and they're like, you got to hear this band, Cottonmouth Kings. They're talking about chicken hunting and shit. ICP was on the radio and chicken hunting, and I listened to it. I was like, oh, fuck. And they happened to live down the street from the high school, so that's just a little bit of information straight off the gate. But
That's dope. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
you guys, good to see you guys. It's all fucking love. What's cracking?
hey, that's you know, that's how both bands helped each other. You know what I mean? Our fans being turned on to them, their fans being turned on to us. It was a great fucking partnership, man. It really was for years and years, man. You know. So, Chucky, man, let's jump into it. Tell us the story after the incredible legacy. Tell us the story of when you think you started to notice cracks.
Yeah, where did cracks start at, man?
When and how?
You know, the inner workings of the band, you got some guys on the line that could really hit on that. But as far as a fan that got to get on stage with the guys, become an artist himself, and kind of, peek behind the curtain, if you will, I'd say, obviously when people started getting removed from the band for pay and stuff, and I don't want to talk too much about it. I don't know too much about it, but from the people I talk about, they're dead now. Rest in peace, Pakalika. But he
Yes,
was
sir.
one of the first ones to kind of get the axe. And at that point, I was like, damn, that's fucking crazy. He was such a big part of that.
He was so much a part of things. Rest his soul too, man.
Was a lot of this because of like points and the way shit was split up? It's just like, yo,
I would say
The speculation.
about stuff I wasn't involved with the inner workings, but talking to him, yes, it was.
Ah.
Some people in the band wanted to, the other members coming in here, people focusing on clothing companies over here are wanting to go solo, so that's why they bring in like the dirtball kind of stuff. And there was so much going on behind the scenes that I was like, as a fan, first, I was like, damn, this is crazy, like. Even on the tour with you guys, I think I was on the first tour with Cottonmouth Kings they ever finished with you guys. It was called the Wicked Wonka Tour.
Yeah.
And at that point, that was my first experience with the whole shit. I was like, this is fucking nuts. And they were fighting from day one in the back of the bus. As family and buddies are just like, yo, this fool's hogging the bus. Too much room here. So, like, even going on tours with them would be like, hey, there's some inner squabbles for sure. And as any band, rock band, that shit gets to a point where motherfuckers start hating each other or like getting different flights or shit taking different rides. You know, it just escalates. And to be honest, man, drugs have a lot to do with that. You know, it's a big issue with pharmaceuticals and just not weed, not maybe particularly alcohol, but pills and fucking just fuckery. And you know, that fucks up business all around. So I seen that happen in 2016. I was with you guys at the gathering. I think it was the Wizard of the Hood. And,
2016. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And I was gonna start their set. Brad was always looking out for me. Respect to Brad, dude. He's a brilliant motherfucker. Like Johnny Bravo. He was on Jenny Jones' show.
That's right. Johnny Bravo is what he used to be called.
Yes, right. I forgot about Johnny Bravo.
That's the promoting name shits was Johnny Bravo.
He used to do all those talk shows and shit. Yeah.
He was all outlandish and shit. Fuck, I forgot about all that.
Yeah, as a 16-year-old, I'm watching that fucking suspended from school, watching that. I've seen this guy, and he's a pimp. He played the pimp, the club owner. You know, I'm like, this guy's crazy. And rest in peace, another good soul, Matt Hall, was a friend, and he was like the Humble Gods hype man. They like chain him up to the fucking drums and like let him loose, and he'd jump in the crowd. And he was part of the neighborhood where I'm from, Redondo Beach, South Bay area of California, and Brad lived there, so he was like a living legend, you know.
You know something, Chucky, man? Let me just interrupt you for a second, man. It is very strange if you think about it. Both bands, the Humble Gods and the Commonwealth Kings, as successful as they were, especially KMK, they were plagued with tragedy, man. From the rip. You know, look at the Humble Gods, you know what I mean?
Well, like you were saying, you know, it's like not even the weed and alcohol, it's the drugs a lot that tore all the shit up, you know what I'm saying?
But both bands have lost multiple members, you know what I mean? Humble Gods and KMK, you know, Pocket Leak and St. Dog, it's fucking hard, man. There's been a lot of tragedy, you know?
Yeah, it's fucked up, man. Like, that's family, you know? And that just makes us, the legacy of it is hard to see where it's at now. So, like, luckily, like, people are still down with each other. So there's all kinds of inner squabbles where people don't like certain people and money ain't right. And people, egos get in the way, you know? And, like, to me, I've always been humble as fuck because I seen them humble as fuck. Like, they were so nice to every fan, slapping hands with them. Oh, yeah, just get in the car, smoking weed with them, just being cool as fuck. Like you guys said, just networking, you know? It's like, I watched that as a youngster growing up, like, look at how many people they meet a day. These fools got a cult following, and they're fucking cool with all of them. Like, it's a big underground network, you know? It's
no doubt.
Dope. And then somewhere down the line, people lost focus of that, and then they just think about the fucking bag or the, you know, the money or whatever the fuck. Just, you know, greed, dog.
You know something though, Chucky Chuck, man? I'll tell you this right now. When you got like 6 or 7 dudes, or you know, even 5 dudes, even 4 dudes in a band, there's gonna be problems, you know.
Especially if they were put together, you know what I'm saying? They don't know each other, like they didn't come up with each other and shit. You know, so I don't know how well everybody in Cottonmouth Kings knew each other. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't know that they asked Pocket Leak to leave before he passed away.
Yeah,
I didn't
know
He got let go.
Yeah, there were some pay cuts involved. Like, probably other people you have on the line will probably hit on that more. But yeah, dog, it's a tragedy, you know. But in the scheme of things, it's like, it happens to a lot of bands, you know. It's fucking.
It is
it's like
it's
fucking like a plague, you know.
It's a rock and roll story.
It happens to so many bands that it's incredible if a band don't break up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
seriously.
The run they did have, like, they had a run for years. I heard of them in 97, 98 in high school, and by 2001 I was on the bus with them, Rolling Stone era, and toured with them up until about 2008, 2009, and I had a kid and kind of stepped back for a little bit, still did some music with them, and started a band with St. Dog called the DGAF record. And like, that was kind of a thing too. It was kind of like a competition with them, and like, they're trying to do this. We weren't talking about like hugging trees. We came out, fuck you, break your knees type of shit. We were fucking mental. And like you said, St. Dog was crazy as fuck, dude. So Brad jumped on all those songs, but Loke and them, they really didn't want to be a part of it. So like, we just kind of did our own thing, and we never got to go on tour with them. So that was the first time I seen like, well, you can never get like bigger than, you know, your idols. Like, it was like a rival, your rivals turn into idols. It's fucking crazy. But like, we always remained friends. And then like, somewhere down the line, you got to know when to give in. Just like at the gathering, like, I was supposed to open their set, And Brad was like, yo, you guys, you got the single, you should open the set and give you some exposure. I've never played The Gathering. So obviously as an artist and a juggler playing the main stage and opening up for Commonwealth and you guys was a dream. And then
Fuck yeah.
it went down the line. Everyone was down for it. But then D-Lo was like, nah, let's keep it original. And I was like, damn, that's the dude who put me on. So I was like, I never would have thought that. So I was like, maybe it's time for me to kind of like dip away from them and let them do their own thing, because obviously he doesn't want me to shine or get any kind of play. But like, that's how it kind of felt, you know? And I just kind of stepped back to watch him, what he's been doing. And it's like, fuck. So I'm latching on to the people that are still down, everyone that still gets along. And, you know, we got the King Click shit going on now with Richter Obnoxious. We got a couple of features and a lot of people still down would do music with us. So it's been a long, hard road, but motherfuckers are still grinding, you know, just like you guys. But you guys stick together and it's a fucking trip.
Yeah,
you know?
man. Yeah.
Underground fucking grinding for years, motherfucker. It's crazy.
The grind don't stop, man.
The grind don't
No.
stop. Hey, let me ask you this. Okay, what two things. Number one, what happened? What do you think happened that ended the band? And number two.
No, you know, I would say I would say lack of communication between Brad X and the rest of the band, dude. And that was the man, Brad X. He was like 50-50 with the label, still would call shots and Cottonmouth Kings, and Zinger would make everything happen. And when you have a business like that, communication is fucking key. It's like any strategic game you play, you got to be on fucking point, especially when there's money involved, families involved, people that eat, people have houses. And then when shows maybe start lacking or album sales start lacking, the pie starts getting smaller, motherfuckers are going to get cut. So people's feelings get hurt and shit gets involved with money. But like I said, I'd say around the time Pac left the band, and then, you know, Bobby left the band. Bobby seen it. Bobby pinned it. I don't know he's got a lot to say, so he'll explain himself. And then, you know, when the shit hit the fan, when I got the call, like, it was, hey, dude, don't fuck with Kevin. You know, we got put you on tour. We got a new record label called UFM. And Brad pumped us all up and made this whole thing. And I didn't ask questions. Cottonmouth King bring me in. I came in there with blind loyalty. So I was like, let's fucking do it. Cool. I was doing nothing, sitting there being a fucking loadie. So I was like, let's fucking go on tour. Perfect. And then first couple of tours kind of were crazy. Brad was just popping pills. I'll be honest. He was taking drugs, and it just would affect the way things happen. Shows get canceled. Like you said, he dipped out on shows, didn't show up, and motherfuckers didn't have it. So it was just tragic. So
what happened with Brad X, though, and Kevin? Like, what happened that made him feel there was some, like, atrocious fuckery going on? And after that, he was never the same.
You're right. Well, all I know about that is one night I got a phone call from Kevin Zinger while I'm having a party. Okay, let's just keep it at that. And Kevin's blowing me up. I haven't talked to Kevin in a long time. I'm like, what's going on, Kevin? He's like, your boys are fucking talking shit online, saying this, saying that, and they're on tour right now. So you know how we roll. If you're with them, be careful of whatever the fuck, like, those sort of talking shit. And I said, hey, he wanted me to call them and warn them, like, yo, we're gonna fight them, boxing match, whatever, you know, a street fight, nothing law involved. But Kevin wanted to fuck him up for talking shit, so he called me for some reason. I ended up not calling that night. I was like, man, maybe he's on a sick one. But the next morning he called me again, and I fucking called all those dudes. D-Lo first, Richter, fucking Bobby V, BJ called me back. Their old manager, the big dude, BJ, called me back, was like, Chucky, what did you say? I left a message for him all. And he's like, I said, yes, Zinger said this, said that, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, they asked me, hey, can we use this in the fucking court of law? I was like, no, dog, that ain't it. I love you guys. I'm down with your shit. But when it comes to fucking evidence or fucking any kind of fucking affidavit or whatever, I don't fucking play. It's not in my DNA. Luckily, I said that because after the whole shit went down, my big homie checked all the information, got paperwork, came to me in a way that was not safe for anyone. But luckily, I said it's not in my DNA, and I did not give them permission to do it, but they used it anyways. So it looked bad, but when the big homies checked me on it, they're like, yo, that fool's a piece of shit. Don't fuck with him. So ever since then, if I see Brad X, it's like kind of slapping him in the face or punching him in the gut, you know, give it like a homie. Like, what the fuck? Check that dude. Like, dude, what the fuck? So to me, I still hold that regretment towards him. And that's just how it is. That's how I roll, I guess. It's
what happened? What went down? What went down? Like you said.
He accused Zinger, first of all, of fucking his wife, of stealing all the money.
Hold on.
Well, back up.
Hey, you can't just gloss over that shit.
He accused Zinger of what now?
Well, who fucked whose wife?
Well, he accused
Wait,
He
Kevin
accused-
Zinger fucked Brad's wife or Brad fucked his wife?
Brad X accused Kevin Zinger of fucking
Gotcha.
his
Of
wife.
his own bra. Okay. His
Now, was
Like, he
Brad
made a whole internet thing about it. It's bad. So maybe I'll let Kevin talk about that. You got him on the
okay? In your opinion, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but in your opinion, was Brad fucking with drugs at this point? Like, why would he say something so outlandish?
Yes, in my opinion, 100% he was, because I seen light men and sound guys that were working for him hand him pills.
So do you
Straight up,
think?
you know what I mean?
Do you think that drugs was fucking with Brad so much that had a lot to do with the dismemberment of the Cottonmouth Kings?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I do, man, and that's a sad thing. I really do.
Okay, question now. Another question, because we got to get to these other guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Brother, in your opinion, Chuck, why can't Johnny Richter, Lou Dog, D-Lo, Dirtball, and who else? Bobby B.
Yeah.
Come together.
Everybody but Brad X
right now and go on tour and get, people would fucking love to see him. Why can't people put whatever kind of drama is happening aside for the fans and knock that out? What in your opinion, why can't that happen?
In my opinion, I mean, I would hope for it to happen, but the way that it's set up now financially, I guess, because that's the main source of the reason why a lot of people do this is to make money and feed their families. So the person involved right now is Dustin Miller, aka D-Lo, and he's got to settle things with Johnny Richter right now. So you mean, like, there's money that's being made and not being already shared off other people's work and time, and it's already getting ugly with that. I won't speak on too much. I'm not involved with that, but I do know something. So to me, if they get that out the way, maybe there could be talks of, Richter getting with D-Lo, and then that would save King Spade, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then getting Bobby B on board would have to get, maybe if Bobby would answer Zinger's call or like let him actually talk to him one-on-one, they can hash it out and, you know what I mean? Let bygones be bygones, erase some tweets and fucking drink a beer, go paddle out and surf and be done with it.
just so
I just can't think of any.
Lou Dog's down. Lou Dog just came.
It's just nuts. It's just nuts.
He was there. Lou Dog's always down. I'm sure.
It's just crazy to me how, everybody is like, because everybody wants to feed their kids and all that, but they just can't strike some kind of bargain. They can get so fucking much money. You know what I'm saying? Going on.
If I was Kevin Zinger, I would be like, look, man, I'd talk to all five if I could, even send a motherfucking FedEx letter. You know what I mean? They have to sign to get it or whatever. Make sure everybody hears what I'm saying. And I'd be like, look, we'll divide it in 5 slices.
There's a
That's
point.
where the problem would come in right there. Motherfucker be like, no.
There's a point though where the money's not worth it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
There's
the
that much
stress,
of a
the
headache,
anguish.
yeah.
But
It's
the
just not-
fans are, though.
What's that?
Not if
The
you're losing
fans
your
are
hair.
worth it, man.
True. That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. You see these comments. They don't want nothing else. They want the band together. They don't care about
Exactly.
They want the-
Man, there are
the
people with the
big
whole
band.
back tatted Cottonmouth Kings. Like,
Right.
man,
Sure, yeah.
it's a part of their life, man. It's a part of their
But nothing is worth
nostalgia.
your own mental health. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Yeah.
going to
True.
fucking push
Yeah,
you over
that
the
is
edge.
true.
But Joey,
No, I agree with you.
Terrence Smith robbed.
Hey, everybody rolls different.
They motherfucker
I'm just
robbed
saying,
this boy in
that blew my
EPMD,
wig.
and they're still
EPMD
together.
robbed each other, and somehow they're still rolling. You know what I'm saying?
But
But
anyway, Chuck, brother, we love you, man. Thank you,
No
man.
doubt.
Love you too, man.
man.
Happy belated birthday.
Always.
Too. I know we share a birthday, Violent J. So happy belated
That's
birthday.
super belated
my
birthday.
You too.
Thanksgiving, all that shit.
You
Happy
too.
8th month belation.
You guys keep it going. We'll see you at the next gathering.
No
Yeah,
doubt,
nah,
Chucky.
brother.
Much love, brother. Thank you.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. That was dope,
So
man.
you know, the one thing is when you look at like how many members are in the Cottonmouth Kings, you know what I mean? And you think about like your guys' career, you split the money 50-50. Can you imagine what it'd be like
Well, that's
when
what-
you're only
yeah.
getting like 20% or less of the cut? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm just
you know
saying.
how this shit's
and
divvied up.
then they went through the same shit we did because there was a point where albums were like through the
yeah,
roof before all the piracy and the jacking and the downloading for free and all that. When that downloading shit started happening, the money dipped. Like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And that had to-
Before everybody tries to
Dipping
figure out how to monetize
dipping
it,
is an
yeah.
understatement.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
The
is
whole
money
industry-
zipped.
The whole industry went like fucking crooked.
when
for
you
money,
got-
Fucking
man.
vanished.
Think about that kind of strain that puts on a rap group that has so many members. Because now the money's like not where it used to be.
Wu-Tang
And
has problems getting together.
that's what I'm
You know
saying.
what I'm
And you
saying?
got to split it all those ways. That had to have been a big part of it, you know?
Yeah.
Check it out, Juggalos. We're gonna go to a quick break, right quick. show you some entertaining footage. When we come back, who we got?
Bobby B.
Bobby B, DJ Bobby B.
B.
After that, Kevin Zinger.
Boy.
It's going down tonight. We're getting to the bottom of this shit. We'll be right back, right here on ICP Network. Ow! Right now, live and direct, your peepers are peeping out the ICP Network.
Goddamn right. And right now, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna subscribe because you're gonna get bonus footage, bonus content, your mom's dick pics, and on top of that, you're gonna be able to peep any episode you want, anytime, whenever you like, forever. And if you like what you see, make sure you donate those bits, you little bitch, because we need your help to keep this shit alive and fresh as fuck from us to you. Donate lots and lots of bits. Or if we want to keep this channel going, we're gonna have to steal your fucking car and break in through your bedroom window and take your useless shit. So donate the bits, you little bitch.
Ron and Jay, the Duke of the Wicked, one half of the Insane Clown Posse, and you're watching Clown